one question follows the other. My second question is, if she was cheating, was it in the home of said colleague? And in addition, you always know when sometimes when people are having fun, they always say it ain't fun if the homies can get none.
How did this get to? How did this Reddit, the Reddit I saw today, in this Reddit that we're gonna discuss in this show, the question is: should I tell? Was I wrong for not telling my colleague that his wife cheated? Now, it's a bit more complex than that, and I'll tell you why. The story goes as follows. I'm gonna let you put on your Reddit gear.
My Reddit gear.
Right. So
Yes.
Steve is a guy I know from work. I'm not super close to any of my coworkers, but Steve and I are decent acquaintances. We small talk often. I've seen Steve's wife with him a few times at company events, so I can fairly easily recognize her. About 2 weeks
By the
ago,
books.
About 2 weeks ago, me and my roommate were at an art gallery, and towards the end of the event, I saw my roommate kissing Steve's wife. Gonna repeat that part, like Omar Johnson. About 2 weeks ago, me and my roommate were at an art gallery, and towards the end of the event, I saw my roommate kissing Steve's wife. I saw my roommate kissing Steve's wife.
Jeez.
Consensual, of course, though he was pretty drunk.
Okay.
Going into work next Monday, I didn't say anything about it to Steve, even though I had the opportunity. Steve was supposed to go to the gallery too, but had another commitment, so he asked me how it was. I guess he found out from someone else because yesterday he told me about how he's heard his wife was probably cheating. Kind of absent-mindedly, I said it was probably with my roommate. Then I explained the situation. Steve got pissed, said he couldn't believe I didn't tell him sooner. The way I looked at it, yeah, I could have said something, but it's not that big of a deal that I didn't. It's not as if we're close, or even friends, really. So am I wrong here? Is what the question
And
is.
that's a tough one, man. That's a very tough one. Is it your business when it's an acquaintance, or is it not? That's a very hard one, man. That's actually where do you start? Well, I mean, close friends, you always try to protect them. But if I know you by passing, you're a colleague. Am I supposed to be the one who's giving you the bad news? I don't have a real answer for this. I don't have an answer for this question, actually. Let me think about it. Maybe you already have an answer.
Because remember, I think that he would. So I think he would have said something if it wasn't his roommate that did it.
Probably, yeah.
But it was his roommate.
Your
So he
snitch
had
are
to choose
people.
between a roommate or a colleague. Now, there are people who say, no, I'm going to speak to the roommate, tell the roommate, yo, what you're doing, you can't do because that's my colleague's wife. You can't be doing that because you're going to put me in a difficult position, and I don't want to be put in a difficult position, which is a way to handle it. I would have probably done that in that situation.
Was it only kissing?
Because it's my colleague. It's not like it's gonna be my business because now you're putting me in a difficult position. Probably when he kissed the woman, he didn't know, or maybe he did. That's not really relevant, but you can say, hey, this happened. But I would have talked to the roommate. To be honest, I don't know if I would have talked to to the colleague. To be honest, I don't think I would if it's just a colleague, because the reason being that if I say it to the colleague and they break up while not really knowing what went on here, it would seem as though it was my fault.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
why
the
I said,
woman's been cheating for a long time already. Is it my business?
well,
I do think
I
it's
don't
my
think-
business to talk to my boy, my coworker,
Yeah.
and say you shouldn't be doing that. But if I talk to him and he tells me, you know what, I won't do it anymore,
that's
am I still gonna tell the guy,
tough one.
my colleague, that his wife was not being faithful?
Is it your this is the core question. Is it your responsibility when it comes to your colleagues to give them a heads up? It's a very tough one. A close friend, I understand. But a colleague, I mean, you want to say something to him, but is it? Jesus. I think what you said is definitely true. I think the problem comes. My question was, did they go home? By the way.
So it's not clear to me whether the kissing is being referred to as cheating or whether something else happened. And the reason why I say it is because let me see. Because of this part. And I quote, I guess he found out from someone else because yesterday he told me about how he's heard his wife was probably cheating. Kind of absent-mindedly, I said it was probably with my roommate. So I would think something else happened that he would say probably with my roommate, because if the colleague said I heard my wife kissed someone, you wouldn't say you wouldn't have said probably my roommate. You would have said, oh yeah, it was my roommate. But if you think that she's cheating, then it's probably
Next step. Also, because one question follows the other. My second question is, if she was cheating, was it in the home of said colleague? And in addition, you always know when people are having fun, they always say it ain't fun if the homies can get none.
How did this get to? How did we arrive here?
Hypothetically, maybe he was also part of that train gang. Choo choo, choo choo.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. But let me see it. Let me check Let me just go real quick through some of the top comments. You're wrong. Promasha said, not telling him wasn't a problem. You're not mates. But then saying that you knew something had happened, but didn't say anything, seems like everyone knows and is laughing at him behind his back. You should have either said something at a time or kept your mouth shut. I do think, KaiR, that if you decide not to say something, and I agree with this person, if you decide not to say something, and the person comes and tells you, act surprised.
No,
Don't go. If you say,
you can't, because that he already knows. He already knew who kissed the wife. But that's what I'm saying. If it's a kiss, I understand. I agree with you. But he's saying that he thinks his wife is cheating. Yeah, but kisses can also be defined as cheating.
But the way that he answered, it was probably with my roommate. That means he doesn't know. So if you say it's the roommate and it's not a roommate, it's basically a rumor.
Yeah.
So either you say or you don't.
This is why
you're wrong. You're clearly wrong about it.
This is why you don't hang
Screen
with
is
mom.
saying.
Yeah? Finish up, and then I'm gonna go in and rant real quick. Finish up, and then.
Yeah, cool. You're clearly wrong about it not being a big deal, because the only person who matters, which is the victim, doesn't think it's a big deal. Of course, you can choose not to tell him, but you don't get to dictate how he feels about you keeping his information from him. Another person, beautiful at 7910, says, you're wrong. If you were going to stay out of it, then that means you should have stayed out of it. You have asked it, and thus you're wrong. That's what I do agree. You're wrong. You're in or you're out, but don't have asked it. And last but whoa, these are okay. Everyone agrees. Last one that I'll discuss. How would you feel if a coworker saw someone else kissing your wife and didn't tell you? Marriage is a huge commitment which requires love and trust. So for you to say it wasn't a big deal says a lot about the kind of person you are. I understand you both might not be too close, but come on, I feel sorry for the poor guy. He probably has trust issues now.